Start this. Okay. All right. So we are here with Dr. Jenelle Robinson today, and she is here to help enlighten us and talk to us about body image. The class is called Am I Fat? And this is for our Fill in the Gaps initiative. If you want to learn more about our Fill in the Gaps initiative, you can go to @FOHealth on Instagram, or you can go to fohealth.org and learn more about the programs that we offer. And basically, what our initiative is all about. This initiative is for February. It is our Black History Month initiative, so it's very centered around that. So I will go ahead and hand it off over to you, to Dr. Jenelle Robinson, and just take it away. Do your thing.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good evening. So Jessica, where are you located?
I am just outside of Austin in Pflugerville, Texas.
Oh, okay. I have a cousin in Austin, Texas. Okay. So then I am correct in saying good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with you all today to talk to you a little bit about body image and looking at weight realities. I am going to share my screen for a little bit. And the name of the presentation for today is Am I Fat? Exploring weight and body image ideals. So am I fat? I think at some point in time throughout history, we have, and throughout each of our own histories, we have asked ourselves and we have asked others, am I fat? And we ask this question, especially when we are evaluating our bodies against some other standard. And so this has been my life story. My life story is me evaluating my body constantly against some standard. So my story includes having body image issues at a young age. So when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, I started to get just a little chunky, just a little, you add it in, just a little fat that you're supposed to add in as you're growing up, as you're getting a little older, you have that just a little chunk. But it was enough for my classmates to notice and make fun of me. It was enough for family to notice and say some things to me. And so I started to have this issue with my body because I kept hearing that I was fat, or, Jenelle, you're as big as a house. I heard, Jenelle, you have 3 stomachs, or Janelle's bigger than the teacher. So I heard these horrible things from other kids, from family members, regularly between the age of 10 to 12 years old. And I would hear these things, and they got to me to the extent that I started to starve myself. And so what I did around the age of 12, 13 or so, I started to eat a cracker a day. And I was thinking eating just a cracker a day would help me to lose weight. So I would eat a cracker a day, and then I would get on the scale. And then if the scale did not change, I would jump up and down on the scale. I was very, very upset if the scale didn't. I had this unrealistic thing in my mind that every day I should see a different number on the scale. And so I'd jump up and down on the scale. One time I actually broke the scale from jumping up and down on the scale because I was so upset that I didn't see a different number. But I didn't have a concept of the way the body works and the way weight loss works. But as time progressed, I did lose probably about 30 or 40 pounds, anywhere from the 7th to the 9th grade. And I lost all of this weight, and felt good and starting to get attention that I wanted. And I was thinking everything was great. And I get to high school, and I played basketball as well. And so, I'm playing sports, I'm doing well. And I get to college, and I'm still asking the question, am I fat? And I gain weight and I lose weight, and I'm still constantly asking the question, am I fat? And I'm still constantly looking at my body and comparing it. And then even after college, it was the same thing. I'm still looking at my body, and I'm still comparing and asking myself, am I fat? And it took probably, I'm 40 now, but it took probably my late 20s before I stopped being as consumed with this idea of what I felt like the ideal body type was. But I think because there was so much and I call it trauma, but it was, to me, it was a lot of bullying and trauma when I was a child that caused me to say, hey, I'm having some issues with my body. The positive thing that came out of this is I started to develop a passion for food and nutrition. And so this is what pushed me into this area. This is what pushed me into wanting to know more about food and learn more about how to help other people live healthier lives and how to help other people understand their bodies and the way they should look at their bodies. And so went on to get a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD in nutrition and health education, and got these degrees so that I could help other people. And so that's part of the reason I'm here today, to help us discuss weight realities, us discuss our bodies, and get to a point where we embrace our bodies while we at the same time acknowledge what is the healthiest body for us. Okay. So this Am I Fat tag, I have been skinny, or what people would call skinny. I have been heavier. I have been more muscular. Right now I feel like I'm a little chunky right now. And so I have ran the gamut of when it comes to what my weight or what my body has looked like. And can you look at any of these pictures and say, hey, I know this one, that's the healthiest body. Can you point to the healthiest body can anybody point to the healthiest body on the screen? There is no healthiest body, right? There's no healthiest body. You cannot look at a person and say, that's it. Oh, she's very healthy because her body looks like this, or she's very healthy here because her body looks like this. And so there's no true definition of what a healthy body looks like. I think for a lot of us, we have this image in our minds, and there are things that cultivate this image in our minds of what it looks like to have this healthy body, what it looks like to be fat or not be fat. I remember when I started losing weight at one time, or I've gone through this dieting up and down with my weight. But I remember at one time I started to lose weight, and I would hear people say, "Oh, you're losing weight. You look so good." And I would say, "Do I still feel like I look fat." And a lot of times it would be people that might be a little heavier than me, and I had to start to think. When you're having these conversations, especially with people that are looking at you as a role model, or looking at you and saying, you're doing a good job, accept that compliment for whatever it is. Accept that affirmation for whatever it is. If I'm constantly pushing away, for them, I think it will be harder to say, hey, I can achieve something like that, especially if I'm not accepting, hey, they are encouraging me. So I had to get in my own mind that it is okay to embrace compliments, even when I don't feel like I'm where I want to be. So what is body image? Body is the mental representation, and that's the main thing to remember. It is something that is in your mind. It is what you are thinking in your mind about your body. It's the perceptions, the images, the thoughts. What comes in your mind when you look at your stomach, or when you look at your thighs, or when you look at your feet? What comes into your mind? All of those things make up your body image. And different cultures have different ideals of the ideal body type. If you were in certain geographical locations, they would say you're unhealthy if you're not what Americans would call obese. And then in other geographical locations, very, very thin is in. And then also depending on what area you may work in. If you're a model, what is considered thin in that area might be different than what we would consider thin in general. And so there are different ideals of body type based on cultures. So what is the ideal body type? And I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and give you a little poem of what I, in dealing with the college students that I work with, what I kept hearing from them is the ideal body type, okay? I want that Beyonce body, that hottie. Give me her thickness. Give me a Minaj booty with Megan Good's tummy and some 36D breasts to rest in front of me. Enhance me, augment me. Whatever you have to do to make me IG ready. Snapchat steady. The camera, filter, alter, crop, lighten, don't widen the view. And when the perfect camera pics are few, credit can give me butt shots, dots on my tummy for the incisions, revisions to the breast, to boost and lift, shift the nose, plump the lips, pull the eyes, and herein lies the new me, the perfect me with the perfect body. And so when you listen to that poem and you hear what are the images that pop up in your mind when you hear some of the words and some of the references?
I mean, it just sounds like it's all just people that you see in media. And, you're right. We're in such a social media time that it just sounds like, I mean, all these bodies that you see plastered everywhere. Exactly.
Right. Well, and like a lot of those names are people who, are on camera for a living and have like personal trainers. Like it's, that's their entire job is to look the way that they look, on and publicly. Like the, how many takes does it take to get an image where even just like the lighting is right, in my office room, much less, for like I don't put a lot, for my brand, right? I have a distillery, and like I don't put a lot of photos of myself because it's real hard for anyone to get a picture where I'm not like, no. And I'm, it's like all I hear is like the production of those photos, not even just like that I have to change what I look like, just getting, the lighting and the angle and all that stuff so that it, is like it, Instagram ready or whatever. It just
Right.
like all that sounds like a lot of work.
It does, right? It is a lot of work. What's interesting to me is that even with all the augmentation, even with all the changes people make when they take the pictures, they are still editing those pictures. I recently had a photo shoot to update my website, and I sent my photographer said 8 pictures, send to him, and he'll edit those pictures. And I just thought he would kind of polish them up, but on one picture, he straight took about 20 pounds off of me on this picture just by I could see just taking a little line out of the dress. And I thought, wow, but this is what happens on a regular basis. What you see in the media, what we see on television, what we see on social media, a lot of times it is splicing a little bit here and lightening something here and pulling something there, just to create this, illusion of what we feel we should look like. So what do we actually feel about our bodies? That's the question. How do we actually feel about our bodies? And I actually did a research study many years ago with African-American women, actually. And these were some of the words I heard from them. They felt plump. Some said skinny, short, chubby, tall, a muffin top, stomach issues, flabby arms, thin wrists and ankles, and big breasts. I did a documentary with my college students. I'm in an HBCU here in Tallahassee, Florida, and I did a documentary with them where I asked them questions about how they felt about their bodies. And the guys would mention, wanting a 6-pack, wanting wanting certain muscles to show. And so we have these ideals in our mind. No matter who you talk to, you could probably find somebody who's going to say they wish their stomach was flatter, or they wish their booty was a little bit bigger, or they wish their arms were like this. Very few people are just accepting of the body that they have. So in the chat, what I want you to do, or since it's just a few of us, can you think of a fruit or vegetable that you can use to describe your body? And let's see. I think I would call my body a pineapple because I feel like I don't have any curves. I feel like it just or SpongeBob SquarePants because I just feel like it goes straight down. I mean, I got just a little bit on the hips, but for the most part, it just goes like this. And that is the body type that I have and have always had. Every now and then, I've been able to pull a curve out here and there, but for the most part, it's straight. So
LP just put heirloom carrot into the chat.
Heirloom carrot. Okay.
I feel that like lumpy in weird places or something, right? Like not according to the ideal, right? Butternut squash. Oh, that's too good.
Butternut squash. Okay. All right. Any others?
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah. When so they have like for like size, if you're shopping online for clothes, they'll like ask you what shape suits your body or whatever. And mine's always like like if you look at me from behind, I go in a little bit on the sides, but if you look at me from the side, I go out in the same places. So it kind of works out so that the whole thing works. It's like the apple or the or like a box or a rectangle or whatever. And I'm like, I don't feel like I look like when I look down at my body, I don't feel like that. And when I look in the mirror, I don't feel like I look like that. But like if I choose that as the thing in the like shopping for clothes stuff, they fit better than if I try to choose something else. So I'm like, I guess I'm an apple, but I like pineapple way better. And like that still has like the shoulder and the top and the bottom are about the same width. I'm like, that's okay. I can go with pineapple, and especially with the hair.
Right.
Pineapple, I can go for that. I'm stealing it. And it's so juicy.
Right? So where do we get our body image views? Sometimes we get it from a social group. If you have, I don't know if you have the type of friends that tell you when you're getting a little heavier, you're getting a little smaller, when your head looks a little bigger, your head looks a little smaller, your thighs look, I don't know, but sometimes we get our body image from those we hang around with. I know family in particular will tell you when especially when they haven't seen you for a while, they'll tell you things, they'll look at you and make comments. So a lot of times there are these ideas. I have an aunt that's always making comments to my dad about me needing to eat. She's getting skinny. She's needing to eat. And then I just had a friend recently and she was like, you're getting thick. It's just depending on whoever you're talking to and how they see and what their perceptions are. So social group, family. So I just mentioned family, the media. So we talked about social media and these unrealistic ideals that social media puts out. These are all contributing to the views that we have about our bodies. And a lot of times when we become consumed, and I think at a young age, I became consumed with having this unrealistic view of what my body should look like, it resorted to disordered eating, and it can resort for many people to have an eating disorder. So 20 million women and 10 million men suffer from a clinically significant eating disorder that can include bulimia, anorexia, binge eating disorder. Almost 50% of people with eating disorders meet the criteria for depression. 1 in 10 men and women with eating disorders receive treatment, only 1 in 10. So only 10% actually get treated for it. And a lot of times it's not thought of or treated as a mental disorder. When I was a little girl and I started to get a little heavier, my parents took me to a dietitian. And I remember when they took me to this dietitian, the dietitian talked to my mom and dad the entire time. The dietitian did not talk to me. And I just felt like I'm sitting in the room as they're talking to my mom and dad. And I remember we went back home and they tried to implement a lot of these changes that the dietitian told them to implement with me when it came to food. And I actually gained weight after leaving the dietitian and trying to implement, because they never talked to me as well. They never dealt with the mental aspect of why I was using food the way I was using it. And for me, and I mentioned earlier getting made fun of when I was a little kid, but I would go home and I would make cookie dough and I would just sit and eat it because that was what was providing comfort for me when I was going through the bullying at school. So it was eating cookie dough, eating more, even though I know that's what was contributing to putting me in this place where I would continue to get bullying. So, at some point I stopped that, but that's where it started. There was an eating disorder there. Eating disorders actually have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. And I thought that was a really, really big statement when I saw that. What is truly the average size? 64% of women are pear-shaped. So that's really looking at, the hips actually come out. 30% are straight. That means little to no, we don't have that curve, that hourglass figure. Women who come in the small size are a size 14. Okay. So the average size of most women is a size 14, and that is the small size, but it's when you go to the store, it would be considered plus size, right? But that is the average size. That's a small size. The average man size is 5'9" and close to 200 pounds. And I thought that was interesting. And that is probably why I see so many short guys around that 5'9" to 5'11". And I'm thinking, I feel tall at 5'8". Who determines our correct size? Do clothing manufacturers determine our correct size? Now, how did they even get the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16? Why is it that we are trying our best to get into a size this or a size that? I've had plenty of friends. Actually had one recently who just was determined to get back into a size 6. It did not matter how she got into this size. And I don't know what is going on here that makes us feel
well, and it's not like those sizes actually correspond to any like particular measurements of a body, like the like a size 8 this and a size 8 that. The manufacturers, they vary wildly.
Correct. Right. They do. So I don't think that clothing manufacturers are the best determiner of whatever the correct size is. Body mass index. I don't think body mass index is necessarily the best decider of what your correct size. And body mass index looks at the proportion of weight to your height. And body mass index is used widely with medical and health professionals to determine if you are in the underweight, normal weight, overweight, or obese state. But BMI doesn't take a few things into consideration, and I always tell people, never look at it in isolation. You can consider it, but that's never something you should just say, oh, you have a high BMI, this is what you should do. No, you're looking at BMI and multiple things when you look at BMI.
Can you talk more about like the other things that you would consider in?
I'm going to talk about the presentation. So it's a few.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm going to mention it.
I will hold.
Yes. Thank you for your question, though. Your doctor, who determines your correct size? Does your doctor determine your correct size? I think your doctor is a good person to advise you. Your doctor is a good person to tell you how your weight might be contributing to other health issues when you are in the doctor's office. But if in general you don't have any other health issues, and I'll talk about that later, then your doctor is not necessarily the know all be all when it comes to what the correct size for you is. Culture, family, ourselves, all of these things have pushed to try to tell us what the correct size is, but there is no correct size. And that is something we need to remember. There's not a correct size. There's not a wrong size. Okay. We all come in different shapes and sizes, and we have to find what is healthy for us at the size that is healthy for us. So the question that I still hear after talking to people about their size, because I am an advocate of health, I am an advocate of lowering your risk of high blood pressure and high cholesterol and other things. They ask me, well, if there's no correct size, then is there such thing as having too much weight on my body? There is such thing as having too much weight for you to handle. And I will say that when you start to exhibit symptoms of, back issues, and it's harder for you to breathe, and you're not able to do normal daily activities with a certain level of vigor, yes, you probably need to consider looking at your labs and looking at other factors to see if those things, in addition to your weight, are prohibiting you from living your best life. And so some things that would tell you need to lose weight is a doctor's order. And usually a doctor should be comprehensive in looking at several things, not just one thing. They should be comprehensive. If your waist inch, if those inches are more than 35 inches, if you're a woman, and more than 40 for a man, then that's something to consider. That's waist circumference. BMI I mentioned, and you see the BMI chart there. Your labs, like your cholesterol, your glucose, your blood pressure, all of those things need to be considered. If you have metabolic syndrome, so metabolic syndrome would be having a waistline for women more than 35 inches, high triglycerides, low good cholesterol. HDL is your good cholesterol, high blood pressure that's over 130 over 85, and high fasting blood sugar. If you have any of those issues, you have multiple issues, then I would tell you, yes, you probably need to consider losing weight. Okay. But if only according to being, and this is an answer to your question, Jessica, if you're only looking at BMI standards, and it's saying you're overweight, but you don't have any issues with high blood pressure, you don't have any issues with high cholesterol, you don't have high triglycerides, your glucose, all of those things are good. You feel like you have vigor and energy, not a lot of fatigue, I would tell you just watch it. Especially if you don't have a family history of any of those issues, I would not tell you that you need to lose weight. Okay. I would tell you it's a combination. Never look at anything in isolation. I would never just say, oh, you have high blood pressure, lose some weight. Oh, you have high cholesterol, lose some weight. No, there are a lot of other things that can contribute. There are people that lose the weight and still have high blood pressure. They lose the weight and still have high cholesterol. And so you have to look at multiple factors and look and see how all of those could be contributing before saying weight loss is the best option. Our bodies go through an amazing journey. I tell people sometimes, when I gain weight, I think that, subconsciously my body is giving me the extra energy it needs, because that's exactly what extra weight is. Extra weight is you holding more energy on your body. And sometimes I might need to hold a little bit more energy on my body for certain things. Sometimes I need less energy on my body. And so, you just think about the different changes you've made throughout your lifestyle. It's no way, a lot of us are still the same. I'm about the same height I was in high school. I don't want to weigh what I weighed in high school, though. I definitely don't want to weigh what I weighed in high school. Don't want to weigh what I weighed in college. Don't want to weigh what I weighed in junior high school. And so we want, at some point, we want a little bit more weight on our bodies. And sometimes we might want a little less weight on our bodies. We just need to, to assess to see what is the best weight for us at this juncture in our life. Okay. What is the best weight for us? These are reasons, of course, we seek to lose weight. And so that's what I would ask a person if they said to me, there are no body image issues, I just feel like I need to lose weight. I would say, well, why do you really need to lose weight? It's no body image issues. You just, why is it? And if there are no health reasons, a lot of times these are the reasons I get. They want to fit into old clothes. A lot of times we're trying to pull stuff out from years ago. I had a dress that I bought, and I bought the dress specifically. It was a new dress so that it would force me to lose the weight. And I never did lose the weight and had to get rid of the dress. But a lot of times we're trying to fit into new clothes. There's a big event coming up. I had a 20th year high school reunion a couple years ago. So, I'm trying to get myself to a certain point so that when I go back, they're like, oh my gosh, look at Jenelle. You know what I'm saying? After 20 years, she still looks a certain way. Sometimes we want to please a significant other or catch the eye of someone we're interested in because we feel like they might like us if we lose a little bit more weight. Sometimes it's the pressure of friends and family. They've told us you're fat, and they say it usually they don't say it in a really nice way. They say it in a way to embarrass you, and sometimes we seek to lose weight to feel better and for health reasons, which are the best reasons for weight loss. Okay. So when we're choosing to lose weight, of course, all diet plans, any type of plan we're on, is going to be based on a caloric deficit. What that means is that your body is taking in less energy than it needs. Okay. So everybody has a maintenance level, meaning if I eat this many calories, I'm not going to gain weight. I'm not going to lose weight. Okay. And whatever that number is, you'd have to go under it in order to lose weight. And so when you're in a deficit, that's when you're going to lose weight. Every diet plan, every diet pill, even diet surgery is based on a caloric deficit. Diet pills, they suppress your appetite, so you eat less calories. Diet pills will cause you to lose water weight. So losing water weight makes you feel like it gives you the illusion that you weigh less when you get on the scale. So there are pills that can help with water retention. There are pills that can help with their appetite suppressants when you have surgery. They're just making your stomach smaller so you can eat less. That's it. They're just making it smaller. So all of them are based on a caloric deficit. Most diet plans, they help you lose weight, but the problem is they don't have any plan to help you maintain the weight that you lost. And so after you lose everything, a lot of time most people they go back to their old eating habits because they don't know anything better. So they go back and they go, if you don't have anything to maintain or a sustaining plan in place, you're going to go right back to the things that you were doing before. As you lose weight, you have to continue to eat less calories in order to sustain that weight loss. And so in general, if I weigh 200 pounds, I'm carrying 200 pounds around. Okay. So it's going to take more energy to carry the 200 pounds around. If I get down to 170, it's going to take less energy to carry the 170. So I need less calories. And so that's what I tell people. When you lose weight, you're saying, I'm going to eat less. I'm going to continue to eat less for as long as I'm at this weight. Okay. Now that doesn't take into consideration certain types of exercises. Of course, if you're lifting, if you're exercising regularly and those things are in place, of course, those things can aid in the weight loss and the maintenance. But if you've been exercising at a certain level and you lose the weight and you stop losing weight, that means what you're doing when it comes to exercise and the calories you're eating, it's no longer working. You've plateaued. So either you'll have to exercise more or you'll have to eat less. It's simple as that. You still have to exercise more or you have to eat less. And so I think that is something people don't think about. Are you responsible enough to, excuse me, to get yourself to a certain place and then take care of yourself at that place? And most people are not thinking like that. They're just thinking, I want to get the weight off, not what am I going to do when I get to that place and how can I maintain my efforts when I get to that place? So I have 4 core principles that I love to talk about with people in order to not only get to that place when it comes to weight loss, but live healthy in general. So these principles are not just for people who want to lose weight. They are for anybody who says, I want to know, what can I do to live healthy in general? What can I do to live healthy in general? Because part of this presentation is discussing not only body image, but what you need to do to live your healthiest life, no matter what size you are. And so, the first thing is you need to determine what your goal is. Even if your goal is not to lose weight, gain weight, maintaining where you are, that is a goal. Maintaining where you are, that's a goal. Not getting high blood pressure, that's a goal. Not dealing with high cholesterol, especially if these things run in your family, lowering your risk of certain issues, that is a goal. So you're always going to have a goal. You're always going to have a goal. You determine what that goal is. Don't let anybody else determine what that goal is. You determine what that goal is because you really know what is best for your body. Nobody else can tell you what's best for your body. So you determine your goal, and then commit is the first part of the core principle. Commit to a dietary lifestyle. So it's much easier to decrease your risk of different illnesses and whatnot when you have actually committed to a lifestyle, not just I eat what I want when I eat what I want to eat and what I feel like I want to eat, and when I want to feel like I eat this and then I eat this, and then when I go here I go, and when I'm here. No, there's a lifestyle that you want to commit to. And 4 of the lifestyles that I recommend to people if they're wanting to live a healthy lifestyle, all of these are evidence-based, meaning it's in the literature showing that these are lifestyles that are associated with decreased risk of certain chronic illnesses. The vegan diet, dietary lifestyle. I'm not vegan, probably won't be vegan anytime soon. Okay, so Danny is vegan. So Danny could tell us a little bit about being vegan. I'm not vegan, probably won't be vegan anytime soon, but the vegan dietary lifestyle is an amazing dietary lifestyle connected to so many health benefits. Okay, of course we know it's going to be more fruits, more vegetables, more grains, hopefully not more Oreos. So we know Oreos are vegan, but what I tell people when they say they want to go vegan is you need to first assess your life to see if you can actually do this. Because a lot of people watch What the Health, or they watch something else and they say, I'm going vegan. And they don't know that the vegan lifestyle, especially in Kentucky and Arkansas and Florida, that nobody cares about your vegan lifestyle when you go to restaurants. Nobody is trying to make sure that they don't cook certain things using certain oils or certain fats or butters. Nobody is paying attention to that. When you go to social gatherings, nobody is saying, let's make sure we have some things that are vegan friendly. They might have a little vegetable tray with some carrots and some celery on there, but otherwise nobody cares that you are vegan. And so if this is something that you want to commit to, which again is a great lifestyle, you have to assess your life and say, I am willing to pack a lot of my meals. I am willing to have snacks on me at all times. I am willing to go to places and be hungry because I don't have anything and they don't have anything for me. Okay. I went to a family reunion a few years ago, and I don't eat pork. Went to this family reunion. The only options they had were pork. And, and people were like, well, you can just eat it this one time. That's not my lifestyle. I don't eat pork. It's not my lifestyle. So I'm not going to eat it. So because it's not my lifestyle, I took on that. And I remember I went down the street to get something to eat. I went searching for something else, left the family because, again, that's not my lifestyle. And so when you decide I am committed to this as a lifestyle, then there are certain options that are not options for you. Okay. And that's what happens with the vegan dietary lifestyle. I actually have an assessment in one of my classes that I'll give you a resource for, where you can look at that assessment and it'll ask questions, yes, no, and you can determine what dietary lifestyle will be best for you. Okay. And so vegan, even though, we have these great goals and we want to be challenged and we want to be vegan lifestyle is not for everybody. Paleo lifestyle is a great lifestyle: fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and lean meats. I've been on and off paleo for years. Love it. No grains, no beans. Of course, no white bread, no white flour. But it was a great lifestyle when I've done it. My only thing is I love potatoes, and potatoes are not necessarily part of the paleo lifestyle. Jessica, did you have a question?
Well, so I just wanted to throw in, like, even if you're not in one of these sort of more restrictive, eating styles or whatever, just like dealing with like calorie control, right? So when I started like managing portions, and like I was working for a while where I was constantly driving, highway miles, and so like, if I didn't pack, if I left early in the morning and I had not prepared that day, like, I'm limited to what I can get at a drive-through or whatever. And so like I went and researched like what are things that I know I can find on the menu at places that are going to be in some weird ass little like in middle of nowhere, it's like what's it like Popeyes and whatever that I could actually like order and not like bust my calorie sort of budget. And that was really useful because it's like, I know I can go to Popeyes and get the green beans and the naked chicken tenders or whatever, and it's like a full size meal, and it doesn't go like, it's like 550 calories instead of like 1200 calories like most of the other things on the menu. And that was a really big deal to like get enough. I had to do the research to like make sure it's like, no matter where I am, I could go, like, if I'm stuck with fast food options, what can I do that's not going to just be like, well, screw it, I'm just going to get whatever looks good or whatever. Because for me, it was also figuring out like I constantly struggled with like trying to find the right thing and preparing meals ahead of time and all that stuff. And once I realized, I found out June of last year that I have ADHD, and realizing that made a huge difference in how I then can manage the sort of general unmanageability of like this neurological bit. And like, turns out an awful lot of people with ADHD struggle with their weight because of the impulse control problems and the difficulty planning things over time and being prepared in situations and stuff. So like having something right in my pocket so that like when I'm grumpy or stuck in a limited option situation, that I don't then just like screw the whole plan because I like don't have the energy and the bandwidth to like figure out what then is okay. So now what do I do? So like that was yeah, and that's even without going into not having a dairy or not having the beans or what like it's a there's so many contingencies. Anyway, that just want to throw that in there.
It can be very torturous, even for my life. My mom has asked, when are you not going to be on a diet? Like, you've been on it your entire life. And I said to her, it's not necessarily being on a diet. The only time I'm on a diet is when I'm restricting my calories. But I have chosen things that a lifestyle of, this is what I'm going to eat. This is what I'm not going to eat. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat pork. Those are dietary lifestyle choices. In addition to these dietary lifestyles is vegan, paleo, Mediterranean, macros counting, or even calorie counting. Those are also options. So there are people, if you were a person who told me, I want to eat whatever I want to eat, I would say, okay, I think the best lifestyle for you is counting your macros or counting your calories. That's what I'm going to tell you. But if you say, no, I don't really like to eat, I don't eat a lot of meat, I can do without meat. I love fruits and vegetables, I can do without meat. I'll tell you, okay, what about your time? Would you have time to prep your fruits and vegetables? Oh yeah. I'll say, oh, maybe the vegan lifestyle might be for you. If you say, oh, I can't live without meat, but I can do without bread, paleo lifestyle might be for you. But it's usually those individuals who say, I'm on the go a lot, I don't have time to choose the healthiest option all of the time. I'll try, but I can't guarantee. Then you're going to have still some parameters, and that would be what you mentioned, and that's having either portion control or even managing or strategizing. What we say is, before I go out of town, before I go out to eat, I'll go look online at their menu and I'll look at the choices that are available. So I already know before I'm going to most restaurants what I'm going to take, what I'm going to order. So first thing, what is your goal? Commit to a lifestyle. Second thing is optimize. That's optimize your results through exercise. Any type of exercise you do, you should be challenging yourself in some way. So if you have been you're walking, you start with a small goal. Let's say that goal is walking 30 minutes a day. At some point, you need to do more. And that's just to challenge your body. We're not even talking about weight loss. We're just talking about challenging your body. So do more can mean walk a little bit longer. Do more can mean walk that 30 minutes, but walk it a little bit faster. Or do more can mean if you did 1 mile in 30 minutes, see, can you do 1.5 miles in 30 minutes? So you're figuring out a way to challenge yourself just a little bit more over time. Our bodies are amazing. They can do amazing things, and they were meant to do amazing things. Now, unless you have a disability or you have some type of chronic condition that does not allow you to be as mobile, you should continuously be challenged. Even those people who have barriers or physical conditions that limit them, even flexibility can be something, whether it's stretching and then you're able to stretch a little bit more. See, that's one area I definitely need to work in. I'm not really good, not as flexible, but there are people who can stretch, and then they continue to stretch, and they're able to stretch a little bit further each time. So challenge yourself in some way when it comes to what your body can do physically. R is report. I do believe an accountability partner or partners or group is in order. Having someone to report to with your goals, no matter what those goals are. So even for me, for my personal goals, I might say, my personal goals this year is to finish a book. That is the actual personal goal. Well, I have people to report to because that is the goal, and I want to accomplish that. Well, if I want to continue to eat healthy, I want to continue to exercise, I'm going to still have to report that to an accountability source. There is someone I should be talking to about my physical health. There is someone I should be sharing with concerning the food I'm eating and how I'm making sure my body stays active. And so talking with someone, though, who has similar goals, who might have a similar lifestyle. I think that is, the literature has shown that it's very, very effective in helping you stick to your goals, in helping you overcome your challenges, having an accountability source. Initially, when I would see people post on social media, their health goals or their weight loss challenge, and they'll post, and I'm like, why are you posting this on social media? But for them, that was their accountability, because there is somebody on social media that's paying attention, and whether or not we care, they're going to care. They're going to care. So for them, it's when I post, now I'm accountable to what I've posted. And so now I've got to keep whatever image they think they have to keep up. But for them, that is an accountability source. Okay. The last principle is enhance. And I just say enhance your efforts with supplements. And that is based on your personal choice. I tell my students all the time to take a multivitamin because most people are not taking in what they need. A lot of what you'll read will tell you a multivitamin does not do anything more. You can get what you need in most regular food, but who is eating most regular food? Who is eating what they need? Who is actually eating everything that they need on a daily basis? Most of us are not. And so, and then even when you try your best to eat as healthy as you can, fruits and vegetables, things of that sort, they still contain oxalates and phytates, which are things in these foods that prohibit our body from absorbing all of the nutrients. Okay. And so you can eat as healthy as you want, and your body's like, still, nope, not taking all of it in. I'm not going to absorb it. Nope. It's like that little kid that doesn't want to eat his peas. Nope, not taking it. I'll eat 3, but that's it. Nope, not going to take anymore. And so because of that, we have to still make sure we are getting in the necessary nutrients from wherever. And if that's a multivitamin, so be it. I encourage people, if you're trying to lose weight, to do a natural fat burner like green tea or black tea. Those are natural fat burners. I encourage people to take something that has to do with their gastrointestinal system. Now, unless you're very regular, and regular is 1 to 3 times a day, and that's a good bowel movement, not a plop, 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 plop. And the little kids like to laugh when I talk about bowel movements, and I know some of the adult people are squirmish when it comes to bowel movements, but it tells a lot about your health. It honestly does, your bowel movements. And so a probiotic or digestive enzymes are great for making sure your gastrointestinal system is in order. And like I said, in general, I take some supplements, ashwagandha, which is good for mood. I have anxiety issues, and so I take ashwagandha. I also do apple cider vinegar. They're actually little gummies I'll take. And so all of those things are helpful for me, but they're not necessary, but they are helpful. So meaning what this means is that if you do what you're supposed to do, these enhance it. Okay. These do not replace it. And what I've seen a lot of people do is they look at supplements as replacements for doing. So it's kind of like my dad, he has diabetes, and I've heard him say before, sometimes he'll eat some things that he wants to eat, and he'll say, well, I take a pill. That is not what the pill is for. The pill is not so that you can eat whatever you want to eat. It's not what the pill is working with you eating healthy. It's not working instead of you eating healthy. And so, that's how you have to think about even the enhancements. The enhancements, they're not going to do the fight for you. You're going to have to get in the fight and eat the right nutrients yourself. All the enhancements say is, oh, okay, so you're doing that? I'm going to join you. I'll join you. I'll help you out. I won't do the work for you, but I'll help you out. Probably like maybe that coworker who's like, oh no, I'll help, but no, I'm not going to take over for you. I'll just help you out. That's how enhancements work. That's exactly how enhancements work. So, all right. So I do have resources available. This is my website. There's actually a free class. It's a weight loss class, but it's actually a class where you can learn any and everything about food. I put pretty much everything I know about weight loss and about food into that class. And so if you want to go to my website, you can find information on that. My mantra is that appreciate your body where it is while you get to where you want to be. And so I tell people, first of all, accept the compliment for what it is. Jessica, if I tell you you're beautiful, if I tell you you have the cutest little nose, don't say, oh, no, or, oh, but I look like this everywhere else. No.
I usually just say, I grew it myself.
See, and that's what you say. You accept the compliment for what it is. A lot of times we want to redirect into another flaw. oh, this nose, but girl, look at this part of my body. And we don't have to redirect. We can accept a compliment for whatever it is, even if we don't believe it. Let your self-esteem wrap itself in love rather than your size. Okay. So our self-esteem should not go up or down based on our size. Okay. Read some inspirational books. A lot of times books can help put your mind in a place to appreciate your body, to appreciate yourself. Talk positivity to yourself. And this is just saying things to yourself, affirming yourself, saying things positive about yourself, telling yourself that you are beautiful. Just talking to yourself on a regular basis, surrounding yourself with people who will build you up. Who is in your circle? Who is complimenting you? You know, who is telling you good things about yourself? You should have people in your circle that are complimenting you, people in your circle that are encouraging you, supporting you in relation to your goals. Get a reality check of what a normal size is. I think I gave that to you earlier. If you are heavier size and you say, I do want to lose weight, and that's, again, totally up to you. You need to look at it in comparison to all of the other things we talked about, your labs, your BMI, your waist circumference. But if you're in the process, there are so many other amazing things about you, you know, just to feel like I can't do certain things unless I lose weight. That's not the truth. There's so many other amazing things about you that you can emphasize. And so it shouldn't just be, when I get here, that's when I'll do this. Here's some quotes to think about. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. When you believe in yourself more than you believe in food, you will stop using food as if it were your only chance at not falling apart. And that was the issue for me. That was for me. Every weight loss program, no matter how positively it's packed or packaged, whispers to you that you're not right. You're not good enough. You're unacceptable and you need to be fixed. And a lot of times that's what we're presented when we feel like we have to adjust to a certain program. It's telling us that whatever it is about us is not right. Healthy emotions come in all sizes, healthy minds come in all sizes, and healthy bodies come in all sizes. And that's what we have to remember. There's no actual correct size. So I'm going to give you a moment to create an affirming quote about your body. And this is your body narrative. And I'm giving you an example here. Here's mine. I am beautiful. My body is a sculpture that I get the awesome opportunity to shape. There's no perfect shape or body part, but a couple of things I love about my body include my long legs and my petite feet. And I really actually don't have petite feet, but this was just an example. So if you feel comfortable, you don't have to put it in the chat, but if you feel comfortable, you might give me an affirming quote about your body. I love it. Jessica, I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that, Danny. Okay. Can you read, each of you, please read it aloud if you don't mind. It's just so powerful when I hear you read it aloud. And I can read Lauren's for her. I'll read hers first. She says, my body provides me with the ability to use my voice, my brain, and my body to make the world a better tomorrow. I love that.
I don't think so. Among other things that I do, I'm also a musician, and I don't think of my voice as being part of my body. So I love that you had that in your statement, because like I don't think about my voice as like a thing that is a product, but it totally is, right? If I had a different shaped nose, it would sound different. You know, the resonators would be different. That's so cool. I didn't think about that. Yeah. So I said, my body is a magical hydroelectric machine, and I love how strong and dynamic it is.
Beautifully put.
I wrote, I love my body. This body created my two beautiful babies. My body carries me through every day in happiness.
I love that. I love that. And so we want to make sure we are using these quotes to affirm ourselves regularly, especially when we don't feel like it, because there are days where we do not feel like our body is a hydroelectric machine. There are days where I don't feel like my body is carrying me through happiness. There are days where I don't feel like my body is helping the world be a better place, but I can affirm that. I can affirm, I can speak it. And we have to say these affirmations regularly, not just about our bodies, but about life in general. Hey, how are you? Hello. Hey. So we want to, and that's another reason we want to say these things about ourselves, is because with perfect timing, Danny, our kids are watching as well. Even if we don't have kids, there are kids that are watching what we say and what we do. And I grew up in a household where I love my mom, but my mom, you know, if she got a compliment or something, told her she's beautiful, she would say, "Oh, I'm not." And I'd say, "Mother, this is where." When I got older, I said, "This is where this is coming from. This is where this low self-esteem comes from for me, because you're rejecting anytime someone is trying to." And I saw that growing up, and so you know, we are creating the narrative for our children as well. And so we have to have these positive messages, not only for ourselves, but also for our children. We have to tell our children these messages. I told my dad didn't call me beautiful till I was grown. And I said, you know, and he says now, parents, of course, they're not perfect. They do the best that they can. But we want to set those habits at a young age and telling our kids they are beautiful. Their bodies are beautiful. They were created beautifully. So we want to have these affirming messages for our kids as well as for ourselves. All right, so questions?
No questions?
No questions. I love you. That is all that I have. I'm here if there are any additional questions, but I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. Hope you got something from it.
You said you're writing a book, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying. Want to be my accountability partner?
Okay. Careful what you ask for. So, like, you know, to get updates on, you know, your book that you will complete and all that stuff, like, where would we follow you? Like, how do you typically engage with the world through social media?
Yes, I am at Dr. Jenelle Nicole, and I will type it in the chat for you. And so you can find me on Instagram at Dr. Janelle Nicole. You can also go to my website, which is drjanellenicole.com. And I'm putting that in the chat. And on Facebook, you can find me. I'm Jenelle Robinson on Facebook. I don't do a lot of Twitter. So I have a place on there, but I really don't do anything on there Monday. But yeah, mostly IG or Facebook. You can find me on there. So when the book comes out, it'll be good.
I just had my entire Facebook account suspended for like no apparent reason. So I'm like, well, let's see how this goes, because who knows how long with COVID. So I'm glad that you're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Jenelle. This was actually so enlightening. I am so glad that I was here for this. And we also want to say thank you to our sponsors with The Blend for helping bring this wonderful class to life. Honestly, I got so much out of this whole conversation for me personally. So this, thank you so much from, definitely from me. This is definitely important to me. This is something that has been like very important to me for a long time, especially because like I'm starting to see my girls they're like literally absorbing everything. So it makes me more mindful. And, you know, body issues are just such a huge thing, especially with, you know, women and the way we view ourselves. And I want them to, you know, feel empowered and feel strong and feel beautiful, because that's how I see them. But it's important that for me as a parent, that my children see themselves like that. So, and, you know, it's important for me to help other women feel that way as well, and men too. But yes, so this class was amazing, and I just want to say thank you for this. So, and I can't wait for other people to watch this later.
Well, thank you all for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So if anybody has any questions, I mean, we can open it up for another minute or two. If you have any questions, you can pop it in the chat. Or you can reach Dr. Jenelle Nicole on Instagram, like she said, or drjanellenicole.com on is her website. And yeah, if that's all we have, then we are going to go ahead and end this segment. So thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your night wherever you are at. So,
You too.
thank you so much.